Thanks, Lindsay. Top Republicans are meeting in Maryland today for the 2023 Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC. The event is normally an important gathering for some of the most influential Republican politicians, donors, and strategists. Although this year, some of the top Republicans will not be in attendance. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, and the two highest-ranking members of the GOP in Congress are just a few people not traveling to the conference this year. And the split is a stark contrast for the Republican Party that for years saw GOP royalty flock to the conference, but is now plagued by ideological division and further pushes to the extremes of the party, a far cry from the message of unity during the first CPAC in 1974. While giving the keynote address at the first ever CPAC, former President Ronald Reagan touched on a few issues that may sound familiar today.
It has passed since Barry Goldwater walked a lonely path across this land, reminding us that even a land as rich as ours can't go on forever, borrowing against the future, leaving a legacy of debt for another generation, and causing a runaway inflation to erode the savings and reduce the standard of living for this generation.
And here now with us this morning to provide some more context is Rina Shah, CEO of Relax Strategies and a GOP strategist who has served on 2 Republican congressional staffs. Rina, welcome back this morning. Several of the Republicans not attending are potential 2024 presidential candidates, including, like we mentioned, Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence. So why are so many top Republicans opting out of going to CPAC this year?
Well, never say never. They may not be there this year, but they could next year. This year in particular is so unique for CPAC. In my view, the CPAC of today was always going to get to this place, a place that is highly partisan, that has some very extremist tones, that has a lot of unsavory figures there, and frankly is pushing some, in many ways, some disinformation as well as misinformation. So I'm not surprised that there are top leaders of the conservative movement as well in today's Republican Party that are just choosing not to be there this year. But there is a big reason why they are not there this year. And it's because the organizers, Matt Schlapp in particular, this is a husband-wife team. Matt Schlapp has some very credible allegations of sexual misconduct that have been lobbied against him in the past many months. He and his wife, again, Mercedes Schlapp, who used to serve in the Trump administration, are saying that this is the liberals, this is the left that are trying to take down what has been a very successful conference for a couple decades now in particular.
You talked about messages of misinformation. I mean, do you think there needs to be a push to pull it away from that?
Well, I think right now CPAC is suffering from a big problem, and it's that a lot of the sponsors are worried about its future. If it's come to this point where it is a place where, again, you're finding figures like Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, who is going to be appearing there, who is going to be pushing out falsities, likely, again, related to the 2020 election, that presents a huge problem for companies that could have, again, legal implications here if they find themselves caught up in pushing out a narrative that is just not true. So this goes beyond elections, and again, people just not wanting to be seen as linked to people that have problems in the public spotlight. This also becomes an issue of the who's who. Are the kingmakers really there? Is it valuable to have the party chair there? It just is it's a moment where CPAC is losing its standing, and rightfully so, because they have opened the door to such extreme messages, and that makes it hard to get reasonable people, the moderates, the center-rights, and that huge growing swath of independent voters that were not happy during the Trump era and after it, especially going to that conference. They no longer want to be there.
So kind of continuing on that subject, RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel recently said that a loyalty pledge for 2024 GOP candidates would make sense for the party. So if we're going to continue to talk about these divisions, how would a loyalty pledge impact candidates at all levels of the GOP?
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that today's CPAC is embedding itself in cherry picking that would just have given former President Ronald Reagan a migraine. This is highly unusual. The way that Ronna McDaniel, the GOP party chair, is talking about a loyalty pledge is as if it's normal. And she should know that it's not, because Trump made a really big fuss about it. And she thinks that if Trump is on the stage again, 2024 again, as he's announced he will be, along with former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. And again, other people are going to announce. This is not going to be a two-person field. She thinks that these people will have no problem signing a pledge to support a future GOP nominee. I just think the party is not in control. There's been a lot of chaos, as we saw. Again, just going back to January with Speaker McCarthy needing 15 ballots to become Speaker of the House. We are in an unusual time. So I just think we can't count on the leaders to have the answers these days. And CPAC is certainly not the place where we're looking for answers anymore.
All right, Rina Shah, CEO of Relax Strategies. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. And more Morning Rush after this.